Hello guys, I am back for another review and today we're talking about whether Deku took Bakugou's advice. So, in the last video, Deku, well, we established the story of Hela and her three sisters and father. Her father, being Loki, was being tortured, or should I say punished, for, basically almost destroying the entire world. And because of that, Hela wants to get her revenge for her father's imprisonment. She wants to kill Odin, so she decides to try and find a champion to represent Niflheim, so she can free her sisters, even though people think that they're actually boys. So, after a few years have gone by, a boy by the name of Izuku Midoriya was born. Izuku was bullied to the point that he wants to commit suicide, until he met, well, David Shield, Melissa Shield, and All Might, also known as Toshinori Yagyu. So, after, a bit of bantering and also a bit of, fun, I guess. It's more fun for them except for Izuku. Until Izuku couldn't take it anymore, he took his own life. But before he did that, he sliced a face on his face. Basically like the Joker style, basically just getting like the box cutter and start slashing a face on himself. Specifically a smiley face, almost similar to like Jeff the Killer. So, after doing it, Bakugo was blamed for the death of Izuku because, at the time, when Inko and Mitsuki saw Bakugo, they saw Izuku's dead body, and seeing Bakugo covered in blood and wielding the box cutter, so he was brought to a little jail, where he served 2 weeks in jail for now. So, after a funeral, Izuku was approached by Hela to become her champion. So, yeah. So, let's talk about what happens next. So, Izuku accepted and becomes the champion for Niflheim. So, Hela says this: "Alright, my lovely champion. But first, you meet a body. I don't want you to fight in that, ghostly form. So, I'm gonna turn you into a Draugar." Izuku says this: "What the hell is a Draugar?" She explains what is a Draugar, which basically is a necromancer. Actually, it's more of a... what do you call those in D&D? It's more of a lich than anything else. A Viking lich, to be more specific. They can basically bring back the dead if they want, just as long as they kill that enemy with their, specific weapon, like for example a pitchfork, a sword, or basically any weapon. Basically, in some legends they're able to basically turn themselves into giants, apparently. Even some people say that they form gigantic battleships from their dead bodies and cause raids, apparently. But I still think it's probably just some people, misinterpreting, people that are basically just, doing a design on their, battleship. But instead saying, oh, it's probably some like, weird Draugar zombie or whatever. Anyway, so, Izuku starts punching through his grave and comes out with, well, instead of normal, scars, which are usually red, instead, it's pulsating blue, glowing blue, in fact, almost similar to the Northern Lights. But except, instead of, all of the colors of the rainbow, it's mostly shades of blue and maroon. Not maroon, more like velvet like the velvet room, basically that color. So, Izuku says this. Sorry about that. And also, by the way, after like the next episode, like the third episode of like this, the part 3, this is going to be next. What if Deku was in Fate? Or should I say, what if Deku was in the, well, Holy Grail War? So, I hope you're ready for that one. Anyway, back to this story. So, Izuku says this. So, I feel different. It feels. I feel nothing. As Hela says this. I mean, yeah, all of your organs are basically gone. So I replaced them with mostly ice. Izuku says this. Izuku laughs. Izuku says this. So, how do I revive the dead then? As she says this. The only way for you to revive the dead is by killing a person with your blade. So, Izuku finds a small child. Yes, Izuku is going to kill a child. How surprising. I mean, Izuku was tortured. Oh, that's so horrible. That that doesn't excuse that he was being bullied by in school. Oh. To be more serious, if you're being bullied or anything like that, just go to a cancel member or just call to a teacher. Trust me, I used to be bullied. I mean, I'm kind of being bullied, but not anymore. Or at least sometimes. Even though, well, actually, I kind of get bullied sometimes, but I would mostly ignore it for now. Okay? Just if you're being bullied, just go to like a person and just report it or something. Okay? Good. Anyway, Izuku goes towards the child. The child was a influential, child of like a really famous family. Snobbish dickheads, actually. They were rich and also snobbish, believing themselves as gods. They also had the gall to basically banish any person that they delighted in, especially if it's Izuku, which they would spread rumors about, saying that he was a sociopath. So, Izuku goes towards the child as he says this. Get away from me. Ugh, what are you? Some sort of, a bad guy? Are you like a villain? Izuku grabs his sword and stabs him through the head. Izuku throws his body to the ground. As a few seconds go by, his body starts jerking. Almost looks like he's being revived. His body starts, twitching as his blood, instead of, well, drying up, it disappears as the wound starts turning blue, mostly the red parts, as his body comes up as he says this. Master. The sister arrives because she wants to, pick her brother up. She says this. What did you do to my brother? As Izuku says this. Killer. With a savage intent, he starts, walking on all fours and starts charging towards her and literally bites on her neck, basically like a wolf, and eats, a part of her neck. Before she can die, Izuku stabs her with his sword, turning her into a Draugar as well. As she says this, hello, master. Good. Wait for a second. So, Hela says this. Good, Izuku. Now, we should go to hell. Izuku says this. Wait, Do you mean actual hell, like fire and brimstone? As she says this. Oh, that's what people usually call it. In actuality, it's called Niflheim. Izuku says this. Niflheim. I heard of it in one of my classes, or at least I just listened to it while Bakugou was just bullying me. As she says this. Really? My champion being bullied? That bastard should be killed for that, right? Izuku agrees. Izuku nods his head. As Izuku stops. As Izuku says this, so we should go now. Probably the parents would probably start try and pick them up. As she agrees, as she creates a large portal. As both of them and the children, which are now turned into Draugar, disappear and now are basically in Niflheim, the land of the dead, filled with all of the souls that didn't win to battle. So, she says this. Hello. It's good to be home. She starts, transforming into more of her goddessly form. Her goddessly form makes her a little bit taller, and instead of like that usual white dress that she usually wears, she's wearing a black dress with a black spiky crown. She also wields a large sickle that's like the size of like probably the size of a fully grown, actually more like the size of a baby, wait for a second, a baby ice giant. It's not helping that this blade, it's made from her sister, specifically Jormungandr's, well, acid slash poisonous breath. With this, she's able to kill an enemy slowly. As in slowly, I mean she can, just slash at the enemy and it will give her, an advantage because that slash would either contain the poisonous gas or something even worse. Like, for example, it would have like another disease or something. As she starts saying this to Izuku, so this is going to be your room over there, and right next to the hallway. Izuku says this. So that's my room. So how about these two? As she says this. Oh, don't worry. Now, both of you, I want you to serve over there. Both of them bow down as they basically started going to another room as they change into butler and maid uniforms. Izuku says this. That's what they deserve. As she says this. Really? Why? Izuku explains who they really are. As she says this. Oh, I absolutely love how people get what they deserve. Izuku says this. Yeah. Wait for a second. So, after that little conversation, I guess, Izuku starts going into his brand new room. This room was pretty nice. Nice furniture, but most of it is either made of ice or just some regular old, pelts. Specifically, polar bear and other winter animal and elk, well, clothing or fur. Izuku goes onto his bed as it feels quite soft even though the frame is made out of ice. So, Izuku was told by, the older sister of that brat that he should be going to the dining hall. So, after arriving to the dining hall, several of these creatures, mostly, ice, wait for a second, ice giants, people that were killed in battle and didn't go to Valhalla, and other such people, mostly high-ranking officials in Niflheim. And in the middle of it, at the end of the table, is Hela. as Hella says this to a toast to our brand new member, as all of them raise up their cups and say this: Cheers! Izuku cheers as Izuku says this. So this is wine? As she says this. Yep, the best wine, in fact. Izuku tries it as Izuku says this. Not bad. So, Hella, what we're gonna be doing first? As she says this. Well, we're gonna be freeing one of my sisters. Izuku says this. I thought you had brothers. As she says this. Oh, what godly gook. It's absolutely disgusting how people lied over the centuries. They're not brothers. They're sisters. Izuku says this. Really? Ashi says this. Yes. We're gonna be starting off with finding my sister Yomonganda. She's quite the powerhouse, even though most of the time she's basically a hothead. Izuku says this. She sounds almost similar to Bakugou. As she says this. Yes, but she can be cute and elegant in some points. Izuku says this. Alright, so, where I can find her? As she says this. In the ocean, near, Asgard. But unfortunately, Thor is currently trying to guard her. Oh, my Uncle Thor. He's the reason why my my father is trapped, imprisoned. That is why I want you to kill him. Ezekiel says this. Wait, but I remember Thor being the most powerful of the gods. As she says this. Yes, but in more of the bronze turns. But most of the time, if it were to be, a battle between, smarts and brains, he's pretty much a bumbling fool. Izuku says this. Really? Ashi says this. Yes, as one of the ice giants says this. Yeah, last time, when I was trying to fight him, I outsmarted him with just one single tactic. He keeps just rushing in, so I just, stepped out of the way and let him do the rest. He basically gets a, black eye after that. Absolutely freaking funny. Seeing him humiliated in the front of the entire, in freaking. God, it was funny. As one of these, fallen warriors said this. Yeah. Valhalla was completely ashamed. As for the other guy, a man with a almost European style, uniform says this. Agreed. Even though I'm not from here, that's actually quite pathetic, even for your barbarian standards. As one of them said this. What did you say, you Anglo-Saxon? As he says this. What did you say, you barbarian? So, they basically started getting ready to attack each other as Hela says this. Alright, enough fighting. So, Izuku, I need you to try and get my sister back. She's quite the powerhouse after all. She will be beneficial in our battle between him and my father. I want to kill Odin very badly, so my champion, make my uncle suffer. So, Izuku did as she opposed and gets ready, but before he does that, he gets ready to rest because he was tired. Hela allowed it as he fell asleep in the most comfortable bed ever. So, yeah, so this will be the end of the episode. So, I hope you liked the video, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye!